Hello everybody, I wanted to check in real quick and see how we're all feeling. A couple days ago, Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2. I'm pretty excited for the Switch 2, so I just wanted to talk about the things that I'm excited about, the things that I'm looking forward to, and the things that I'm hoping for. Let's go ahead and get into it. One of the first things that they went over in the Direct was Mario Kart World. And honestly, I'm a longtime Mario Kart fan. It's a fun game. It really never gets old. I feel like with any new game in a series, regardless of whether it's Mario Kart, Zelda, Animal Crossing, I feel like you still need to keep it true to the game, but upgrade it in a way that keeps veteran players wanting to continue with the series. While I personally won't get a lot of use out of photo mode or free mode, I still think it's really cool that they added it for the players that will use that. It looks like they're adding a lot of new courses, which I'm super excited about, but I do hope that they still bring back courses from old games because I am a big fan of that. I do like that they added that each course in the Grand Prix connects to each other and that's part of the race that you're just continuously going. I think that's really cool, and it still feels like a Grand Prix, but it adds something different that we haven't seen before in any of the other Mario Kart games. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm really excited to try the Knockout Tour mode. I think it just adds a little bit more competition and it's just something new. I like it. I'm pretty happy about the changes that they made to the system overall. I definitely think the bigger screen with the better resolution was a much needed upgrade, especially for players who mostly play their Switch in handheld mode. I think we'll notice the biggest difference with this. I'm about half and half of playing my Switch on handheld mode or connecting it up to the dock to play on the TV. But when I do have it in handheld mode, I will be happy about the better graphics. I don't think anybody's gonna complain about that. I like that it has a mic and that it has a game chat feature. I personally will not be using the screen share feature. I really don't feel like it looked that good. I'm not gonna hate on it too much, but it definitely looked very pixelated in the Direct. I wasn't very impressed with it, I'll be honest. But I do definitely think that adding the voice chat for the Switch 2 is honestly a game changer. And this is something that I think Xbox and PlayStation have had forever. And I believe this is the first time a Nintendo console has had in-game game chat, like voice chat. So I think they're finally kind of catching up with the times. I think it was much needed. Now, one thing I'm really happy that they added was the new GameShare feature. This was a feature that was on the Nintendo DS where you just needed one game cartridge and you could play over local multiplayer, and it was so amazing. So I'm really happy that they're bringing some variation of this GameShare feature back to the Switch consoles, because truthfully, I feel like it was something that should have been on the original Switch, but I am happy that they're bringing it back for the Switch 2. One thing I wasn't too excited about of watching the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is the backwards capability. So historically, Nintendo handhelds and consoles have always been backwards compatible. So first there was the Game Boy Color, then the Game Boy Advance came out, but you could still play Game Boy Colors on the Game Boy Advance. Then the DS came out as the next handheld system, and you could still play Game Boy Advance games on the DS. Then the 3DS came out and you could still play regular DS games on the 3DS. So all of those were backwards compatible. Even with the consoles, when the Wii came out, you could play GameCube games. When the Wii U came out, you could play Wii games. I'm pretty sure we all thought that that would be the case with the Switch 2, but based on what I saw from the Direct, it doesn't seem like it's truly backwards compatible. I know it's not a huge deal because I know they're gonna make sure that all of their main titles are backwards compatible with the Switch 2, but I don't understand the decision to not make it 100% backwards compatible like all of their previous consoles and handheld systems. So I just don't really understand the reasoning there. I'm sure they have a good reason for it, but it just seems a little strange that they haven't done it with the Switch 2, but they've done it with everybody else. You guys get what I'm saying. Now, while I won't be buying any of these games on the Switch because I already have them on PC, I am very excited about the announcements of these huge games that are coming to Switch 2. Elden Ring, Split Fiction, Final Fantasy, Cyberpunk. I think this is good for gaming as a whole for these games to be on Switch 2, because I feel like it makes them seem like an actual competitor to PlayStation and Xbox. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Nintendo fan, but I have always viewed the Switch as a different kind of console than Xbox and PlayStation. I've never really felt like it was a true competitor. And if they run well, I think it's just an even better experience for accessibility for gaming. This will allow people who maybe only have a Nintendo system to be able to play games like Elden Ring, like Cyberpunk, all these huge games that people talk about. I think it's really cool that it's being added to the Nintendo universe. Now, personally, the thing that I am most excited about for the Switch 2 is specifically the GameCube expansion pack for Nintendo Online. My jaw dropped when I saw Wind Waker for the Switch 2. That is one of my very favorite Zelda games. I am so excited. I have been so confused on why they never added like the GameCube port for Nintendo Online with all the Nintendo games, and I guess it's because they were waiting specifically for the Switch 2 to do this. I'm super jazzed about Wind Waker, but I'm also really excited to see what other games they're gonna have in that GameCube expansion pack. That was the console that I grew up on. Like, I was really in my DS GameCube era when I really started getting into gaming. So I'm super excited to see what they're gonna add to that. So honestly, that might be the biggest thing that influences me personally to get a Switch 2. And lastly, as a newly recruited Souls fan, I'm really excited for the Duskbloods. I'm really excited to see how it runs, how the multiplayer works, what's the story. I just can't wait to see more. I think it's gonna be really cool, and I think it's really cool to have a Souls game on a Nintendo console. Something about that. I really like it. I'm excited for it. So that was everything that was in the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct that we've seen so far. But I also wanted to make a couple of predictions of what I think they might announce over the next couple months. One thing that I do think is coming to Switch 2 that I am really hoping for is a Nintendogs game or something similar to that. Now, I think a game like this is a real possibility, specifically because of what they're adding to the Switch 2. So they're adding the microphone on the console, which you need for Nintendogs to like name your dog, tell them to do the commands, all that kind of stuff. But even just the fact that they added the GameShare feature for the Switch 2, I just feel like they're adding a couple things from the DS and the 3DS. And even with Tomodachi Life coming out for the Switch, I'm thinking we're gonna have DS remakes. And I'm really hoping that one of them is Nintendogs, because that is just such a fun series and really is like a throwback to my childhood. But I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of DS remakes for the Switch 2 because of that microphone. Another prediction I have is specifically about Animal Crossing. There's always been an Animal Crossing game for each console, but I don't think there's ever been one that is a at-release title. So I definitely don't think that we're gonna get an Animal Crossing release in 2025, but I do think it's pretty safe to say that we'll get it in 2026, maybe 2027, but I'm really thinking that we will get one maybe spring or summer of 2026. I don't know what the theme would be for the newest Animal Crossing game, because we've already been to the city, we've already been on an island, so I don't know what that will look like for the new Animal Crossing game, but I can predict a couple features that I feel like they could add. Now, I do think it's very likely that they will add new villager species and even new villager personality types. I believe New Leaf or New Horizons was the game that added the smug personality and the sisterly personality, so they did add new personality types, so I wouldn't be surprised if they added new types to the next game. And same thing with the species. I don't know what the newest species they added, but I definitely think that they would add that into the new game to, introduce new characters, whether it's NPCs or villagers. And I don't know if they're gonna add this because they definitely should have added it to New Horizons, but I really want them to bring back some variation of Tortimer's Island. If you didn't play New Leaf, you could basically go to Tortimer's Island, do these little competitions where you would like dig up fossils, catch bugs, catch fish. You'd earn these medals and be able to cash them out for special prizes and things that you could only get on Tortimer's Island. And if I'm remembering correctly, you could also do this with your friends. So that is another way for them to incentivize people to buy Nintendo Online. You're welcome, Nintendo. Now, I don't think that they will add Tortimer's Island back into the new game, but I really think that they need to, and they really fumbled by not adding it to New Horizons. Now, I did get tricked because I did think that Nintendo might announce a Breath of the Wild 3, and I was tricked. We just have a new Hyrule Warriors game, which this is one that I don't think I'll play, but I'll look up gameplay of just to get the lore of, the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom universe. I feel like it's gonna be very lore heavy, but I have the other two Hyrule Warriors games, and it's really just not fun for me, but I do think it is likely that they will come out with another mainline Zelda game. I know we kind of just got Echoes of Wisdom, but I also think that that is very different from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But honestly, if we are getting another one of those, I don't think I would expect that until late 2026, maybe even pushing into 2027. But those are my predictions. That's my thoughts on the Direct. Please let me know if there's anything that I didn't talk about that you're super excited for. I haven't decided if I'm gonna buy it at release or wait for a couple of more games to be announced. Like, I'm excited about Mario Kart, but I don't know if I'm excited enough to buy the new console right away. I also kind of want to wait and see if they have any special edition Switches that they're gonna come out with or any fun Joy-Cons, because personally, I don't love the red and blue style, so I might wait until they have a cuter one. So let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious to know your thoughts and kind of see where we're all at. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.